In the headlines, National Assembly to appeal court judgment striking out Section 84 of the Electoral Act. Atiku Abubakar breaks record, declares sixth presidential bid as Governor Tambuwal meets IBB Abdulsalami. Bandits kill 3, abduct 16 in Taraba villages as 75 abducted victims regain freedom in Zamfara. And on the foreign scene, Ukraine agrees to deal with Russia to set up 9 humanitarian corridors. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Now the news in full. Senate has resolved to appeal the judgment of Federal High Court Umuahia nullifying Section 84 subsection 12 of the Electoral Act. The Red Chamber reached the resolution after a debate at its Wednesday plenary. The resolution followed a motion titled Urgent Need to Appeal Judgment of the Federal High Court Umuahia, sponsored by George Sekibu and co-sponsored by 80 other lawmakers. The lawmakers cited that Section 4 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, empowers the National Assembly by virtue of its provision to make laws for peace, order and good governance of Nigeria. Similarly, the House of Representatives on Wednesday vehemently condemned the judgment of the Federal High Court and also took a resolution to formally write a letter of complaint to the National Judicial Council, as well as urged the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, to tarry a while and not frustrate or deny any efforts of the national rights of the National Assembly to appeal until the last day of the appeal as given by law. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, says the regulations and guidelines for the 2023 general election will be ready 10 months before the election. This is contained in the INEC Daily Bulletin issued on Tuesday following a hint by the INEC boss when he received a delegation from John and Catherine MacArthur Foundation in Abuja. The INEC chairman recalled that in 2019, the commission faced the challenge of time constraint due to uncertainty that trailed the electoral legal framework, which resulted to the commission signing off on the regulations and guidelines on January 19, 2019, a few weeks to the election. Yakubu added that INEC had virtually finished the processes. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar declared his intention to contest in the 2023 presidential election at the International Conference Center in Abuja on Wednesday. He said his interest in contesting the 2023 presidency and his enduring persistence is born out of his passion to rekindle the Nigerian dream that he has privileged to live. He described Nigeria as a sinking ship that needs to be rescued urgently, noting that Nigeria as a land of possibilities is in dire need of a visionary leader. And a few days to the All Progressive Congress National Convention, Senator Sani Musa, representing Niger East Senatorial District of Niger State, is seeking the support of members of the House of Representatives to realize his aspiration. Senator Sani said if voted in as the national chairman, he will transform the All Progressive Congress to a political party institution that will impact positively on the country and Nigerians. He said he will ensure reconciliation, reorganization and reconstruction of the party, as well as tap on constituency projects of parliamentarians of the APC to better the lives of Nigerians. He said the party needs a leader with a vision who can transform the ruling party into a modern digital party that will conduct its activities digitally if given the support to become the national chairman by members of the House of Representatives.
Becoming a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, given a responsibility to interact with some of the strong leaders of this country. So I do not think there's any responsibility that I will not be able to sit, being it a participatory one, that different ideals will come in. I don't see how I will not be able to steer that ship. Your Excellency, my leader, my respected honorable members and colleagues, there is no any other can make APC what it should be than now.
Now, Secretariat Junction flyover along Yakubu Gowon Way in Jos, the Plateau State capital, has been defaced by campaign posters of candidates of various political parties aspiring for different elective positions. The central flyover in Jos City, recently refurbished with a huge amount of money, is wearing a different look. The flyover, with colorful paintings of heritage, symbols and related cultural artifacts of Plateau State, has been a center of attraction, with a lot of events, programs, sightseeing and fun seekers coming for functions under the flyover. Filmmakers and music producers also use the flyover as location sites to shoot their films or music. But with the approach of the 2023 elections and campaigns set to begin, the flyover has been defaced with the indiscriminate posting of aspirants' posters, thereby making the earlier beautiful paintings on the flyover to lose their glamour and unique aesthetics.
It is very, very unfortunate that we are living in a society that things are not done properly. You have a place that money was spent, to put it in order to beautify it, but all of a sudden, this particular place has been flooded with campaign posters. Now, in a society where things work in an ideal manner, this thing ought not to be here. We have authorities that are saddled with the responsibility of keeping the town clean and to go around to see, if the effort made by government to beautify certain places have been tampered with. And so here in Plateau, we have the GMDB, which has the responsibility of keeping just clean. You may be tempted to ask the question, where is this agency of government? That everywhere you go, apart from this place, you see a lot of places being littered with campaign posters. Now, ideally, when you want to place a campaign poster, that should be a commercial, activity. You need to get permission from the authority, and then they will tell you there are designated places meant, for such things, and not just any other place. So I'm calling on government, especially the agency of government here in Plateau, the GMDB, to sit up to its responsibility to ensure that these posters that have littered the streets are taken off, and then set up a committee to go around with the aim of ensuring that whoever that is seen, pasting posters illegally should be apprehended and made to face the wrath of the law.
This beautiful place that was beautified with, the beauty of Plateau, but because of these posters and all what these flyers and so on, it has really covered a bit. So my view is that the government should see how they can, sanction all these and let there be a place for where you can post all these flyers instead of beautifying, because actually a lot of money is spent just to get this done, and it has really been destroyed.
Now to matters of insecurity. 75 people kidnapped from Erkatsina community in Kekunwaje district of Bunguti local government area of Zamfara state have been released by their captors. Reports say the freed residents were abducted in 2 major attacks on the community in the past 2 months. The bandits had earlier kidnapped 61 residents. Then 36 days later, they raided the community and abducted 15 more people. Some of the residents claimed to have paid 4 million naira before the victims were released. According to reports, the freed victims had been reunited with their families. Part of the conditions the bandits gave for peace to reign is that vigilantes must disarm. Meanwhile, bandits have killed 3 persons and abducted 16 in 4 villages in Gasol local government area of Taraba state. Reports say the bandits operating on motorcycles invaded the affected villages on Monday night. In Karar, 2 persons were killed and 1 other person abducted, while in Ndinyao, Badija and Kwatansendirdi, 4 persons were abducted in each of the 3 villages. According to reports, the bandits were alleged to have crossed from Plateau State, where they were chased by a combined team of soldiers and police to set up camp at Hirmoy and Shoful Forest in Gasol area. Reports say the bandits have threatened to attack the entire villages in Gasol chiefdom and warned of consequences if their hideout is revealed to security agents. Confirming the attack, the police spokesperson of Taraba Police Command, DSP Usman Abdullahi, said victims of kidnapping are not promptly informing the police, adding that relevant information on activities of the bandits is hampering police investigation and action. And a soldier attached to the Joint Military Task Force in the Northeast Operation Hadinkai on Wednesday reportedly opened fire on unarmed civilians and in the process killed 3 civilians and injured 13 others in Mafa town, Mafa local government area of Borno State. Reports say the soldier, alleged to be under the influence of drugs, killed 3 civilians on the spot, while 13 other people sustained gunshot injuries. Meanwhile, the spokesperson of the Theatre Commander Operation Hadinkai is yet to respond to the issue. And still on matters of security, Kaduna State Government on Tuesday said the death toll in Sunday's attack in Kaura local government area of the state has risen to 34, including 2 military personnel killed in the attack. The State Commissioner, Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arwan, stated this in a statement. He named the locations attacked by the unidentified assailants as Tsonje, Agban, Katanga and Kaderko, all within Kogoro chiefdom of Kaura local government area. According to the statement, 2 military personnel were among the 34 killed, with local residents making up 32 casualties, while 7 people were injured and were receiving treatment, as well as over 200 houses and 32 shops burnt, while 3 vehicles and 17 motorcycles were vandalized in the attack. Firefighters struggled to put out a fire outbreak under the Carter Bridge in Lagos. Eyewitnesses said the fire began in the early hours of Wednesday at the popular Apongbong market under the bridge. Carter Bridge has been cordoned off to motorists as the fire rages on. Some number of fire trucks have raced to the location, with firemen scrambling to put out the fire. The popular shopping area is worth billions of naira and stalls were densely packed together. Emergency workers, led by National Emergency Management Agency Zonal Coordinator Ibrahim Farinloye, said integrity tests will be carried out to determine the extent of the damage on the bridge. He said the bridge will be closed to motorists for a period of time. Policemen are deployed to the area to manage the situation.
Integrity test will be done on the bridge. Definitely, this bridge has to be closed down for a specific number of time that the Federal Ministry of Works will determine. The extent of damage cannot be assessed now. The Federal Ministry of Works will have to carry out integrity tests, and the integrity test will determine how long that the bridge will be closed down. As at now, as at the time we received the distress alert to this time, no report of casualty. However, because of the activities of this of the boys around there, we don't know whether any one of them had sustained any injury on the premise that they were trying to salvage goods, or more or less, I don't know whether they are salvaging or they are looting. That cannot be determined now because we don't know who are the real owner of the shops are. But as of now, we are taking control of the whole situation. The boys have been managed, and I just asked for more deployment of policemen from the National Police. So IG is in town, so more effort will be put. So we may have to stay long there. The IG may decide to come here.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. Coming up after the break, how street begging angers communities. This and more after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Trust TV News Update. Now look at our top stories. Senate has resolved to appeal the judgment of the Federal High Court, Umuahia, nullifying Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act. And former Vice President Atiku Abubakar declared his intentions to contest in the 2023 presidential election at the International Conference Center in Abuja on Wednesday. And now moving on to more news. At least 50 houses and property worth millions of naira were destroyed by rainstorm in Ambasi community in Kokona local government area of Nasarawa State. Heavy downpour lasting several hours was recorded in the area. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in the report.
Accompanied by a heavy windstorm, the evening rainfall in the week rendered many families homeless and washed away farmlands of Ambasi community in Kokona local government area of the state. Also affected by the windstorm were the buildings of primary school, worship centers, and economic trees. Dalhatu Danladi is the village head of the community whose house is affected by the disaster, said apart from the houses destroyed, the rainstorm washed away food and some domestic items. The incident is a natural disaster from God. Yesterday, after Maghrib prayer, there was rainfall with heavy storm. In the over 100 years history of this village, we have never experienced heavy rainfall like this. Everybody is affected by the destruction. The head teacher of the primary school and a youth leader in the area, Habila Nangba and Aliyu Baka respectively, as well as Audus Aku, a resident of a nearby village whose house was submerged, said the disaster is causing a lot of hardship on them, but appreciated God that no life was lost.
It was yesterday, the rain fall. It's unfortunate that it has destroyed the school. This very structure, it has submerged the structure that nowhere this abuse will sit. The school that has capacity of over 200 pupils, and we experienced this rainfall with a heavy wind that blew some of the many houses in Ambasi. In fact, we have not even experienced this kind of heavy rain in our life. And it was very devastating. In fact, it's a kind of a catastrophe that entered our community. It affects people's life seriously in the sense that where to sleep now, some of our people doesn't have where to sleep. So it means for now, if you do not have house to sleep, you know what it takes. So it's a kind of a serious problem.
We are really touched, though there was no injury or loss of life, but it is a huge loss. They call on government to assist them in order to enable them to rebuild the destroyed structures. We are appealing to government to look into our plight to assist us.
We are praying as we are appealing, government will come to our aid. Therefore, we in serious need of a very meaningful individual and very concerned people, unlike government, in various levels, so that they should come into our aid and help our people so that we should have a way of repairing the house so that they should have a normal life.
Government should make effort to assist us. Kokona local government chairman Awolo Adamu, while reacting to the development, said the news of the incident came to him with shock, promising to report the incident to the appropriate authority for prompt action and appeal to the community to be calm.
I'm calling for those people, the affected people, that they are residing at Ambasi to exercise patience. So what happened? And by His grace, we use our good office, our good government. We have the governor that had people in heart. I also have them in my heart. I will report the incident to the appropriate authority to ensure that they intervene.
From Lafia, Abubakar Abdullahi, Trust TV News.
Growing population of beggars on major roads and streets in Benin City is a source of worry for the Hausa community in Edo State. Nafisa Bello, who seeks the views of various leaders of the Hausa community in the state on the issue, reports that they simply described the menace as worrisome and degrading. The report.
Driving through Akpakpava Road, Mission Road and other major streets, it was observed that beggars have taken over strategic parts of the metropolis. And on sighting the news crew, some of the beggars either took to their heels or turned the other way, while others became aggressive. Speaking on the menace, the Sarikin Hausawa, Alhaji Isa Adamu, and other leaders of the Hausa community described the act as professional begging, saying most of those who engage in the shameful act are not in any way physically challenged. They also said it is not part of Hausa culture or the religion of Islam.
Honestly, these people are professional beggars. I think like I said earlier on, I met government more than 5 times in respect of this begging. So I gave them advice. We are waiting for the government to act upon it.
This issue, we are so worried that everybody within Northerners, we are so disturbed. Because these people, definitely, as we say, a very large number of them constitute from the area. As we all know, Islamically, begging is not encouraged. There's nowhere in Islam or your Quran, the Holy Quran, say they should encourage begging. Definitely, we are not happy about it. And as we say, we have been taking so many measures to see that this thing has come to the head. And another thing, even the useless ones among the outside, the youth, if you go there now, you see them there. They're even part of the bad ones now. So many crime is actually going on. That's why it's disturbing us.
The way we are hearing it outside is like it is our wish that we allow them to come here and be doing all this begging. Not only begging. When you go to like Mission Road, they are constituting users. Those criminals, they come and hide under the umbrella of those women and children and the beggars, committing havoc.
On how to curb the situation, they were unanimous in their call for government intervention and support. As they say, they cannot do it alone.
We cannot do anything without the involvement of the government. Nothing we can do without the involvement of the government. Government have to be involved.
If you want to stop this thing, I believe the government needs to establish, since there is a law banning begging, they should establish something like a mobile court. When those who try to make them understand and go back or do something better for a living refuse to do that, then you take them to the mobile court and charge them to court.
Or if the government want to, equip those people to go to their various states, some of the politicians are going to, intervene, that the government, maybe opposition party, may try to say that, call the northern leaders that they are driving your people from Benin. No, we are aware, we the Hausa community, it is for our consent that we are trying to equip those people to go to their various states.
It is the hope of all that the state government will, as a matter of urgency, proffer solution by putting necessary measures in place to checkmate the influx of those who engage in professional begging into the state, as well as prevent them from coming back, as they always return in larger numbers after a period of time. Nafisa Bello, Trust TV News, Benin.
The Federal Executive Council on Wednesday approved 92.1 billion naira for the construction of a second runway at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The approval followed a meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari at the Presidential Villa. The Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, who announced the approval to State House correspondents after the meeting, said the total sum will be spread over a number of projects to be carried out at the airport. The approval is coming a day after the inauguration of a new terminal building at the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos. And now look at the economy, where lingering foreign exchange scarcity in the country has continued to worsen, even as the exchange rate on the parallel market is inching towards 590 naira per dollar. According to the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, the development may lead to massive job loss in the manufacturing industry, among other sectors. Reports say on Tuesday the exchange rate stood at 585 naira per dollar and 785 naira per euro on the black market, as against the 582 naira per dollar last Friday. This is coming as banks have also limited customers' access to foreign exchange, placing a cap of $20 per month for online transactions. A development that comes over 8 months after the Central Bank of Nigeria stopped the sale of foreign exchange to bureau de change operators and promised to boost liquidity in commercial banks. And now for a look at the foreign scene, where Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk says the deal struck with Russia includes humanitarian corridors out of Luhansk. She said the agreement reached will allow for evacuation of civilians from Ukrainian towns and cities through 9 humanitarian corridors. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says about 100,000 civilians remain trapped in Mariupol without food, water, and medicine. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. Don't forget, you can subscribe and follow us on all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.